Hello everyone, hope everyone's doing great today. I hope this video finds you in high spirits. And today I'll be talking about the Korean drama on Netflix called The Interest of Love. And hey, before I get started, leave some comments. Did you like this show? Did you dislike this show? What do you think about this video? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'm interested in knowing your thoughts and feelings about these kind of things. So hey, let's jump into The Interest of Love. The Interest of Love is about a guy named Sung-soo and a girl named Se-young, and they work in this bank. And the first episode basically starts off with them having feelings for each other, kind of like a crush. They try to have a first date, but the first date don't really go as planned, so they kind of get in an argument here, and they separate, and they have joined their own little relationships with other people who happen to work at the bank. So one of the themes of this show really is kind of like a society hierarchy, and also the hierarchy in the bank, or not just the bank, but in your work environment. And if if you got a job and you work somewhere, you know what they're talking about. There is a kind of hierarchy. You got your bosses up here, and then you got your workers, and each job that you have is kind of lower or higher on the hierarchy list. And so this does play a big part in this show, and especially the relationship between Sung-soo and Se-young. Se-young is your average bank teller, who will, when you go to a bank, she's going to be the person who deals with your deposits and withdrawals. And so in this hierarchy of the bank, she's kind of like your lower tier. And then we have Sung-soo, who deals with your bank loans. If you want a loan for something, you would go to him. And he's kind of like considered a little higher up on her. And plus, he's the guy who has like a college degree, while Sun-young, she only has a high school diploma. Then you have your branch president. He's kind of like your emperor, the king, and he really acts like that in this show. For example, you guys see his car keys, and he's always throwing it to the security guard and ordering the security guard to wash his car, which is kind of crazy. I've never heard anything about that. A branch president asking a security guard to wash his car. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a Korean thing. I can't imagine that happened here in America. But my guess is just this drama kind of emphasizing the hierarchy of the workplace, and as well as society. So this hierarchy thing really plays a part in Se-young and her mindset. She does come from a poor family. She only has a high school diploma, so she really kind of feels like she's kind of inferior to other people in a way, even though she's like the best worker and highly respected at this bank. She does kind of put herself kind of lower, and it's kind of hurts her relationship with Sung-soo throughout this series. She kind of feels like he's from a wealthy family, and that it just wouldn't work out between them because he's from a wealthy family and she's from a poor family. But the underlying thing is that Sung-soo, he's not from a wealthy family. He's from like your average working class family. He only has, his dad died when he was young, so he's raised by his mom, who owns her own little business, like a masseuse thing, kind of like she gives massages and stuff like that, whatever you want to call that. But he's somebody who worked hard, and through hard work, he was able to go to college and get his degree and stuff like that. So he's really kind of like your working class hero kind of type guy. But like I said, this really hurts their relationship because she always puts herself down. And so she kind of settles for the security guard in here because she feels like they're on the same class level. And that relationship is really toxic. And you really will start to hate that relationship as the series goes on, especially our security guard. His mindset is really, you get this victimhood mindset, and it's kind of really depressing to be with. But having to say that, even though I really dislike his character, Se-young is really hard to like. She's really nasty. Like the end of the first episode, our Sung-soo says he likes a girl, but the woman he likes is a real bitch. Part of my language there, and it's really true because she really treats him, Sung-soo, really bad throughout this whole time, this whole series. Like anytime they start to get close, she purposely says things to hurt him, to get him away from him, to put him down. Online, I've read a lot of people saying like how realistic this relationship is between these two in this series. I just don't really find it really that realistic. Really, I really don't. Considering like they were never a couple, so they didn't really have like, it wasn't like they were like these loving couple at the beginning and they had a fall away thing, and that's why he's having a hard time getting away from her, moving on from her. But there was just friends, so they didn't really have that connection. And when they had the first date, it kind of ends bad. She's the one who lies to him and says these nasty words to him. And considering that our rich girl here, who's in love with Sung-soo and treats him really nice, she's pretty, she's good to be around with. I mean, sure, she's got this rich person arrogant, and she can be kind of snobbish, but it's not on purpose. She generally tries to care for people and helps people out. It's just because she was raised in a life of privilege. She doesn't realize that sometimes her actions and words can belittle people. But I really enjoyed her, and I just find that I was really rooting. I guess this is like a minor spoiler here, but I was really rooting that the Sung-soo and this rich girl would get together. They were definitely the best couple, and probably really the best girl for him. Between the rich girl and Sung-yu was the rich girl. The reason I say that is one thing I really noticed is that Sung-soo and his girlfriend, this rich girl, they would actually go out of their way to help people, to lift people up. While we got Se-young and her security guy, they didn't really help anybody. Like, only people that were nice to was really each other. They didn't really help outsiders at all. They were kind of like conceited and selfish. I found that relationship selfish, especially Se-young. It was kind of hard for me to really root for her, to hope that she would have a good ending, just because how she was throughout this whole series. So let's get to like the ending here. Kind of didn't really enjoy the ending. I don't think it worked for this series, and the reason why I don't think it worked is because throughout this series the writers like to pull the rug out from the viewers very often. There are a lot of circumstances and events that happened this that should have brought Se-young and Sung-soo together. I think I messed up his name even worse that time. Sung-soo together, only for her to turn the tables and either say something nasty to him or kind of just disappear from his life, that kind of stuff. So it's like, it was kind of hard for me to really understand why this guy Sung-soo would still pursue her, considering all the things she's done to him, and why he would turn the back on this rich girl who's always been really nice and caring for him. I mean, there's a couple of events where things she did would kind of belittle him, but it wasn't on purpose. It's because, once you get to know her character, you would understand why she was doing these things to help him fall in love with her. So the ending, I feel like there's two things why it failed. One, we needed something to kind of redeem Se-young for us to make us like her. I think they tried in that last episode where we see that she's kind of like painting, and so she's painting she has all these paintings on her wall, where all these places that she went with Sung-soo. So it kind of gives us this feeling like she really does care for him. She got this picture of him. But I feel like the ending, we needed more of a closure, and that the closure than what we got in this series. Just because there were so many times where something would happen, you would think, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to bring them together, only for them not to part. So what's to say after the very last meeting that these two have together, that the next day, well, nobody listens to this at this point anyways, but at the last day, if you're still here, I'm grateful for you. Sorry, might be a spoiler here, but the last time they meet together, what's that to say that the following day she's gonna pull the rug out from him again. That's all I'm gonna say. There needed to be a harder conclusion to this series, more definite. Are they going to be together? Or are they not going to be together? Than what they did. I think that's about all I like to say. So on this channel, if you're still here, very grateful. Like I said a few seconds ago, we're very positive. So our grades are very positive. So we either grade you from highly recommend, means like a lot of people, about everybody's gonna like it. It's one of the top-notch shows. Recommend, it's like, it's blah, it's okay. It's just your normal show. And then recommend with caution, which means it's terrible. You'll like it if you like bad shows, bad movies, or if it's just for a certain niche of people. This one I'm gonna give I'm just gonna recommend, almost recommend with caution. So it's on the lower end of this recommend kind of thing. The acting's great in this. There is chemistry between all the characters, but I think the ending kind of lets you down. To go through all this stuff that they go through just for that kind of ending, I don't think it's worth. Sometimes I don't really think it's worth the journey that us viewers take to get to that ending. But you might enjoy the ending. So I'm just going to say, I just recommend it. You'll enjoy the episodes and everything, but you'll probably, if you're like me, you might be a little disappointed with the ending like I was. And that's about all I got to say about this. If you're still here, let me know your comments below. Did you like the show? Did you not like it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Hey, if you disagree, I would like to know. I'm not going to take it personal. So have a great day, and until next time, bye.